All right, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and it's an exciting day for me as always because it's e-bike review day. Take a look at this. We got the KBO Breeze here today. Electric commuter bike, 27.5-inch tires, 900-watt peak motor, 48-volt battery. Right now it's selling for $13.99 on their website, which is a pretty good deal for what you get. We'll go over all that in a second. I got it in flat black. It also comes in bright orange. And we're going to take a look at it today, as we always do, front to back, top to bottom. I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces and components you get for your money. And you can decide if this bike might be right for you. I will, of course, link to their website in the description so you can get there easily. But always, two things I want to tell you up front. Number one is this bike is here courtesy of KBO. So thank you, KBO, for sending this out to me, allowing me to ride, review it, test it, and distribute some information out to the e-bike community on YouTube. And the second thing is, I am not a professional in any way, really. I'm not a cyclist, I'm not an electrical engineer, I'm not an e-bike technician. I am your average person, and that's the kind of information that I like to deliver and hopefully give to you today. Is just what's the average person's perspective riding this bike and owning this bike. So I think that's all we need to go over up front. Let's jump in and take a look at all the components you get on this bike. Okay, well, there's the overall view of the KBO Breeze. I'll let you drink that in for just a second. But we're going to start up here on the front with the tires. The size is they are a 27.5 by 2.4. It's a Panasonic tire, a Pana Racer, I think it says right there. It's got a silver reflective stripe on it. And the max pressure, it says, is 55 PSI. So they want you to pump these up pretty good. You can see it's got a street tread on it. You know, this is not an off-road bike. This is a commuter style bike. So they want the pressure high, so it's nice, fast rolling. Come around to the other side here, you'll see that you do have a quick release on the front tire. It has Tektro Aries mechanical disc brakes, 180 millimeter rotors. I found the brakes to be very adequate. Spin back around this way. It does have a front suspension fork. Again, preload and lockout knobs there on the top. It has a front fender on the bike. This was tricky. I'm going to point this out right off the bat. When I pulled this bike out of the box, you have to install the pedals, you have to put on the front fender, the headlight, the handlebars, and the front wheel. Everything else was all assembled, but this front fender took me, I spent 15 minutes playing with it at first and then just put it to the side and then came back the next day to finish because it is so, I don't know if it shows on camera, but I can't even get my finger in between the tire and the fender. It is so tire hugging, so close. There is next to no clearance. I mean, if you can see the nut in there, it is less than a 1/4 inch clearance. This thing fits very, very snug. It was very hard for me to get it adjusted perfectly. You have to have it adjusted perfectly or else it rubs on the tire somewhere. So, and right here at the top, you can see I've got it pushed up as high as it goes. That is the maximum clearance you're gonna get on this front fender. So it is a very tire hugging fender. Just know that. You're gonna spend some time adjusting it, getting it to the point where it doesn't rub anywhere. The back fender, not the case. This was installed, from them, and there's tons of room here. I mean, it's not in danger of hitting the tire anywhere. There's tons of room on the back fender, but the front one is very close. So just know that. I'll point that out. You're gonna take a few minutes doing that when you set it up. Comes with front headlight included, and to turn it on, you just hold the plus key for like 3 seconds and it comes on. All the wires here are, tied together nicely. It's pretty clean look, and they go into the frame right there, and then you pretty much don't see them anymore at all. This is really the only spot that you've got wires hanging out. If we come over to our brake levers, again, the Tektro brakes, nice levers. They feel great because they've got this little rubber insert in here, which I like. So good feel to that. You've got the wide palm grips on your grips here. The palm rest on them, so nice and fat. It has a twist throttle. And of course, 7-speed. There's your shifter, thumb shifter here, up and down. The handlebars do have a pretty good, dipping swoop to them, but you've got this whole space open right here for you to mount phone holders or drink holders or whatever you want to put on there, because the display and the buttons are all integrated into one piece over here on the left. Left grip, same thing, palm rest on it. You got a integrated bell in the grip over there. We'll come back to the screen. I'll show you some of the programming and what you get on the screen, the display, a little bit later. The other thing I want to point out about the handlebars is this right here. It's a pretty good extension that, you know, forces you to reach out for the handlebars a little bit when you sit on this. So something to note, and that is not adjustable. It stays in that position. And if we drop down here, your battery sits right here. There is a USB port right there if you need to charge anything. And on this bike, in order to turn the bike on, you actually have to turn the battery on first. So you hold this and it lights up, battery's on. Now you can turn the display on by holding this button here. So now it's on. We'll come back to the screen though in a minute. The battery is a 48 volt, 16 amp hour battery, which is pretty big. A lot of bikes that are in this price point and category, they're giving you like 14 amp hour or less. So the fact that this is a 16 amp hour, that's pretty good. And another thing to point out is that they give you a fast charger on this. It's a 3 amp charger, so it charges in 5 hours. And I noticed that when I first charged the bike, it charged very quickly. So a good benefit there, a quick charger. I don't know of another company that gives you that actually. And I do like this battery style. I've seen a lot of different battery styles. These are my favorite. You just key in right here and pull on this little lever and the battery comes out the side. So it makes it really easy to get the battery in and out. Here's your battery sticker. They are Samsung cells inside, 48 volt, 16 amp hour. Right here is your controller, tucked nicely in there. It is a 25 amp controller. And if we come up here to the seat is branded KBO on the back, and it's got a grab handle here so you can pick it up easily. Of course, you can adjust it up and down, and the max seat height was, I believe, 40.5 inches from the ground to the top of the seat. And the minimum, I think, was like 34. I'll put them on the screen if I said that wrong. And just to give you a better feel for seat height and stretch to the handlebars, I did make my 5'3" wifey get on this bike and test it out. So here's a clip of her mounting, dismounting, and showing you what it's like for seating position for a shorter person, because I'm taller. I'm over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
All right, wifey, show us how a 5'3" person gets on the KBO Breeze.
Okay.
Okay, can you touch both feet?
No.
Yeah, you can. Tiptoes.
Well, yeah, it's tiptoe.
And the seat's down the whole way, so.
Is it?
What about tell me about the reach to the handlebars there.
It's alright, a little far for me. It's a stretch.
Can you ride it comfortably, or we'd have to adjust
Not
that?
comfortably. I would have to adjust this back, I think.
So it comes out a little bit there. Stretches out here. So maybe we would get a shorter one of those maybe,
back.
or rotate the handlebars back maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's meant for the slightly
It's
taller.
rideable.
You could ride it though. All right,
Okay.
do me one other favor. Jump off for a second. Now, can you lift it?
Lift it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You struggled lifting my other bikes. This one's like,
How?
this is 61 pounds.
That's light. Okay.
Lighter than a lot of other ones. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful. I think she could ride this bike. It just wouldn't be the most comfortable for her. So if you're shorter and you like a tall bike, this would be fine. You could still ride it. But ideally, I think this is meant for someone just a little bit taller, a little bit lankier. And while we're at the top of the bike, let's talk about this right here, the bottle holder. That is a free gift from KBO. They include that in the price, in the box. You also get, the rear rack, which is already mounted on there for you. You don't got to put it on. And they give you full fenders. That's all included in the price. Now, the bottle holder, for me, has been pretty much unusable. Every time I ride the bike, I take it off because I'm not sure if I'm done having kids yet, but if I leave it on there, this bike might just decide that for me. Because when I come off the seat, I'm hitting it. And it's not, it's metal. This is a metal bottle holder, aluminum. It doesn't really give any, and it's pretty sharp. So I don't want that in that spot. It would be great if they slid it up, but then, you wouldn't be able to get the bottle out. It would hit the stem there. So I get why they put it there. It's hard on these e-bikes because your normal bottle mount position is taken up with the battery. I don't know. It's not a gadget that I'm going to use on there. I remove it every time. All right, if we drop down to the pedals, they have these metal Wilgo pedals. I like them. These are on a bunch of the e-bikes I've got. Plenty of grip on those. This front chainring here is single-sided, so I guess always a chance it could pop off to the inside, but Didn't have any issues with it. One thing they are missing here, I wish they had, was some kind of protective clear coating on here, or a nylon, neoprene, whatever it is, chain slap guard, so you don't mess up this paint job. You know, it doesn't, since it's flat black, it doesn't show any of the grease and grime, but I would hate to chip it with the chain, you know, hitting into it. So that's a easy fix. Just go buy some of that clear tape you can slap on there to save your paint job. It is a Shimano Altis. It's the shifting mechanism on this bike. It does have a derailleur guard as well. Like I said, it comes with the rear rack that is installed from the factory, so you don't got to put that on. It's nice and long. It's like 16 inches long, I think. And at the back of the rack, you do have a taillight, a functioning taillight. When you pull the brakes, it lights. So I always like that. That's not something that every bike in this price point has. So that's a great addition. I like that. And if we take a look at the rear hub motor right here, I'll give you a shot of the numbers and everything that's on there, but it says 500 watt. So it's a 500 watt sustained in a 900 peak. As I rode this bike, it certainly was not lacking in power at all. It had plenty of power on the flats and going uphill with ease, so no complaints on the power on this bike. It's kind of a tricky thing. A lot of those bikes are called 750s and they don't really have a 750 motor in them, but this bike is, I don't think they're claiming anything that is wrong. They say 500 watt, peak at 9. That is an accurate description. Plenty of power. So let's jump back up here to the screen so you guys can see what this looks like. Let me get a good shot here. All right, so we push the mode button and it comes on, and it'll show you on the top up here, there's that power meter. So it'll go up and down with little bars showing you how much power it's using. It doesn't give you like a watt output. This little thing here is your battery indicator, how much power is in the battery. Pedal assist down here in the corner, miles per hour, and that's your odometer. This is one thing I want to point out. The odometer is in kilometers, and I cannot change it to miles. That's it. It's in kilometers, you don't change it. You can do the miles per hour to kilometers per hour. You can toggle those back and forth, but the odometer is always in kilometers. I would love it if they'd give me the ability to change that to miles, because kilometers is harder for me to convert in my head. So now the next thing I want to talk about is the power. So let's stop here and take a quick look at all the different performance tests I did. We did, you know, hill climbs, pedaling top speed, throttle top speed. So let's take a quick look at those. Three, two, one, go. Cut out right there. 22 and a half. All right, I'm in pedal assist 3 and I'm in the 4th mechanical gear, and I like to do just a pedal up a good hill test just to see how fast does it go up the hill, and you know, does it feel like the motor's really working, or is it going up it easily? Pretty unscientific, but you know, we'll give it a go here. So let's see what the KBO does pedaling up the hill, and I just rotate the pedal so the cadence sensor picks up. I don't put any push into the pedals, so let's give it a go. It took about half pedal for the cadence sensor to kick in there. So 15 over here on this one, 13 on the GPS, 12, 11, 14.7 over there. The GPS is just kind of jumping around all over the place. Kind of hard to tell on that because the GPS thing lags. This was reading, you know, 14, 15. It breezed up that hill easily. Motor didn't feel like it was really straining at all. All right, we're gonna give this a shot now up this decent hill. No pedaling, just throttle only to see what it does. I put it in pedal assist 5. It doesn't matter. This throttle gives you full throttle regardless of what pedal assist you're in, but I put it in 5 just for, you know, because someone will ask, basically. So we're maxed out. Let's throttle only up the hill. I think the slowest one I had was the Rad bike that went, I don't know, like 8 or 9, 10, somewhere in there. It was really, you could feel that bike working hard. So let's see how the KBO does. Here we go. $13 over here, $11 over here, $13, $11. GPS is kind of all over. 12, 10, 9. I can feel it working. It's definitely not as easy as the pedal assist, that's for sure. I mean, it went up at no problem. I didn't feel like it was ever not gonna make it, but you could tell it was working a little bit. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful to see what the power delivery is like on this bike. I was able to pedal it up to 28 miles an hour. It wasn't easy though, because the bike cuts out at 22.5. That's all the further it will assist you. You want to go any faster than that, it's all in your legs. So I did get it up to 28 miles an hour. I was putting a lot of input in the pedals. There was still a lot of pedal left. If I had stronger legs, I probably could have got it over 30. But you know, it tops out at 22 with assistance from the motor, and that is not changeable. That's in the settings. I'll show you here in the screen. If we just hold up and down like that for a few seconds, it'll go into the settings. So this first screen is, I think, to allow you to clear your trip meter. Let me get in the, there you go, you can see it better. So if you hit the mode, it goes to the next one. Right there, 22.5 is what the max speed is set at. And if you push plus, nothing happens. Push minus, nothing happens. You can't change it up or down. It's locked at 22.5. So that's the most you're gonna get out of the motor. Next screen is the wheel size, set at 700. And again, it's locked in there. There's no up or down. Can't change it. Next screen is miles per hour to kilometers an hour. You can toggle that one back and forth to what you want. Let's leave it on miles an hour. And this number 5 setting is your battery voltage. This one allows you to change it, 36, 48. But you know, you're not going to need to change that. I wish they'd let you change other screens. And now we're back to the beginning. So, and you just hit plus and minus to get out, back to the start. So the bike's got plenty of hill climb power, plenty of power to get you around town for a nice ride. You know, it's not a speed demon. You're not going to get, you know, 30 miles an hour on just the motor out of this bike. It's not meant for that. So plenty of power to get you around town though. It is a good looking bike. I mean, the colors on the bike are pretty extreme. You get flat black, you know, this bike is black on black on black on black. There's just black, black, black everywhere. Not a whole lot of accent on it. The other one is bright orange, which is, you know, solid bright orange everywhere. So it's one of the extreme or the other on the colors. What else about riding this bike? So it's smooth. That's one thing I will say. Some of the bikes that I ride, when the pedal assist kicks in, it's kind of jerky. This isn't. This is very smooth. It's one of the smoother ones I've been on. The Rad bikes are smooth. This bike is smooth. I took a quick clip here to show you what I mean. Let's take a look at that. All right, so here's another fun little test. You know, it kicks in pretty good when the power kicks in, and it takes off, but it's not jarring. So just to show you, I'm in pedal assist 5, so it's gonna kick in and give me the most power it can, but I'm gonna pedal it. I'm gonna let it coast. I'm gonna take my hands off, and then I'll let it kick in. So here we go. Kicked in, off, kicked in. So it's smooth. It doesn't jolt you off the bike. You could ride this bike no hands, having the motor engage and disengage, and you don't wreck. So it's smooth. It is powerful, but it's smooth. This bike has a nice stable feeling. This is a good size hill right here. I'm gonna go up it. In pedal assist 3, I'm not even gonna hold on. It feels more like a bicycle than the fat tire ones don't. I can't know if I can do this with all the fat tire ones. This is just so smooth and effortless and stable. I don't feel like I'm gonna fall over whatsoever. Up a steep hill, no problem. This thing just trucks right up them, man. So very easy bike to ride, very stable. It's light. it only weighs 61 pounds with the battery in it. And the battery weighs 9 pounds. So if you're looking for a lighter weight bike, this might be right up your alley. My parents actually made a surprise visit this weekend to come see me for my birthday, and this bike caught my dad's eye. For whatever reason, this one really spoke to him. He really wanted to ride it. So I did take some footage of him out on this bike. So let's take a look at that. All right, we're here with Papa Citizen. He has chosen the KBO bike to ride today. And if you haven't seen my channel before, I have a shed full of e-bikes. I have like 9 e-bikes, and out of all of them, he chose this one. He was most interested and curious in this bike. So we're out taking a spin, and we're off. Now he normally rides electric XP, small little fat tire bike. So I was kind of surprised when he chose to take this one out today, because it's a 27.5 inch skinny tire bike. Totally different. Maybe that's why we wanted to try it out. So the look of this bike really caught his attention. I think he liked the weight, that it was lighter as well. And then of course the power delivery. He really liked the smooth power delivery of this bike. All right, well that is the KBO Breeze. What'd you think? I'm a little impressed actually that they were able to hit that $13.99 price point on this bike, given what you get. I mean, integrated taillight, 900 watt peak power and smooth power delivery. It's pretty lightweight at 61 pounds. Big battery, fast charger, pretty good bang for your buck. So it's up to you to decide though if this is a bike you want to consider. Like I said before, I will leave a link in the description to the website so you can check it out and read all the tech specs if you want. I'm going to try to do a range test on this bike as well. It's one thing I didn't include here. It takes a few hours to do those, especially if this bike's going to go like 50 miles. We'll see, but I'll come back and report on that later, range test. But in the meantime, I hope you found some useful information in here, and maybe some enjoyment out of watching the video too. Thank you so much for watching.